You're going to walk into a dealership and see a salesman standing around. He's going to make eye contact, ask if you have any questions, and basically start sizing you up. They're trying to gather information about you and use this in the deal. Sometimes these people can be pushy, but I've rarely had an issue when I simply say, you'll sit in the car you researched and start to notice what you like and dislike about it. Legroom, headroom, tactile finishes are what you're looking for here. You'll know if the car doesn't fit right. When you find what you like, take a picture of the sticker on the side. See what features are needed and what can be left out. You'll have to know what you're asking for when getting the car priced out later on. Now you can go back to the salesman and ask them for a test drive. Some salesmen know their cars inside and out, while others can only talk about the financing. If they're in the second group, you're probably not going to get a lot of info about the car. Now that you're on the road, take note of the following: acceleration, braking, handling, suspension, blind spots, road noise, button layout, creature comforts. If you didn't like the car, thank the salesman and be on your way. If you think a different model would work better, ask the salesman to test drive something else. Take the things you learned from the first drive and apply it to the next car. You may need to try a few, but remember, decision fatigue may hit you after the third or fourth car. Now, if you liked the car and had a successful test drive, contain your excitement. The salesman will be gauging your response. Tell them the car is okay or not bad. Eager customers are more likely to be emotionally blinded during the deal. Don't give them an opening to sell you a car right then and there. Instead, give the salesman your email address. They may try to get you to their office, but the key is to get a formal quote emailed to you. At this point, you do not need to go over anything other than the model, trim, colors, and options. When that's done, you need to leave. When you get home, make a list of dealers that sell the car you want. Get their phone numbers and the email address of a sales associate. Try to keep your search within 50 miles of your location. It's okay to go out of state. Aim for around 20 dealerships, including the local dealer you visited. This is where the legwork really comes in. The more dealers you contact, the better chance you'll get a good price. You're going to have to go through a sales associate's email, so call each of the 20 dealers, excluding the local dealer you just visited, to get those emails. You'll probably reach a receptionist and say something like this. You'll quickly be transferred, and you'll say something like this. If the salesman's good, they're going to try to slow you down with useless questions and get you into their showroom. Most people buy cars in person, so a salesman is going to be more experienced with face-to-face negotiations. Doing business over the phone and email takes that advantage away. Simply say the following to move things along. Again, you just need their email. Then you'll give them everything they need to know when it comes to pricing the car you want. Most car salesmen work on commission, so streamlining this process gives them more time to sell cars to other people. Now the salesman is thinking, sweet, I can make a sale over a couple emails and a 30-second phone call. Okay, so you've got your email list for dealers contacted. We're going to organize them in this graphic. You're going to send this email to all of the dealers, excluding the dealer you already visited. He's going to send a separate quote anyway. You'll introduce yourself, say a few things about the car you want quoted, and give strict deadlines. It's important to set boundaries early on because some dealers will email, call, or text you a spam. The point of this email is to change the structure we have with the dealers. You're not interacting on their terms. Instead, they will have to adapt to your rules or lose the chance of the sale. Since you call these dealers over the phone, they may try to reach out to you to get an edge over their competition. Try to ignore their calls and texts. Instead, simply email them the following. Now we need a lot of names here because not everyone will choose to play this game. Everyone will see the other names in the email and realize they now have competition. It's no longer you versus the dealer. Instead, it's the dealer versus 20 other dealers. Initial quotes are going to start rolling in as your deadline approaches. Note that I only have 6 quotes here. Your yield is likely going to be similar. Some dealers won't be able to source the car, others don't want to play this game, and still others probably forgot about the deadline altogether. The quotes are going to look slightly different, but the main number you're looking for is the out-the-door or OTD price. All negotiations and comparisons from here on out will hinge on that number. Don't be upset if you realize that these quotes are a bit high. Dealers aren't going to give you their best offer on the first round of negotiations. They're simply trying to set a number high enough to net them a tidy profit. The key here is to single out the dealer with the lowest out-the-door price and email them a counteroffer immediately after the deadline. Now, counteroffer is going to be your initial offer minus 3%. You just want to chip away at this price. Countering too low could backfire. Asking for an additional 3% off the out the door is unlikely to offend the salesman. Remember, you're a hot lead messaging them quickly after your deadline. They're more than likely going to work with you on those numbers. It's unlikely they'll give you the full 3% off because that would imply there's a lot more meat on the bone in this negotiation. You're more likely to see them meet you halfway or stay firm on price. Here's what that email will look like when you send them a counteroffer. Remember, this only goes to the dealer with the lowest initial offer. Let's say in this example, he met us in the middle on our counteroffer. Now we're going to shop this bid against everyone else. Worst case scenario, this will be your lowest price, but let's see what the competitors have to offer. Here's a sample email that you can send to the other dealers. Remember, you do not want to add the dealer that just gave you the lowest price. They don't need to know that everyone else is trying to outbid them. In this email, the other dealers need to know the out-the-door price to beat in your next deadline. I personally like to send this email in the morning and give them until end of day to respond. Setting a short deadline adds pressure and demonstrates your seriousness about making this purchase now. Furthermore, by giving the lowest bidder an advantage over the competition, you're influencing the motivations of the other players. The structure of this game gives you even more control because the dealers bidding on this can still get shut out by the first dealer. This adds significant pressure to give an offer that is so good, there's no room to be undercut again. You're not going to make friends with this email, and that's okay. We're simply trying to buy a car at the lowest possible price. Now don't be surprised if the dealers turn on you here. Most of them realize that you've beaten them at their own game. If your local dealer wasn't the most competitive yet, odds are they're going to take about $100 or so off that lowest bid. They're motivated to keep you in their system from repairs and maintenance. To keep things fair, you're going to email the dealer who gave you the initial lowest offer. Tell them the new price to beat and offer proof if needed. Ask if there are any extras that could be added to make up for the price. Things like floor mats, premium radio, and a full tank of gas are easy to throw in. As you can see, we funneled the price from initial quotes to a final quote with extra add-ons. Now, just because you got the lowest price doesn't mean you have to buy that particular car. If there's a color combination or package that you prefer between the two final bids, it may be better to get the slightly more expensive car. Be sure to thank the losing dealer over email and explain the direction you went. As for the winning dealer, you write an email similar to this. Be sure to ask for a formal invoice and any banking information that may be needed to transfer funds. Schedule a time to pick up the car and be prepared to show a copy of your auto insurance with the new vehicle listed under your policy. If this is your first time purchasing a car, I'd recommend bundling your renter's or health insurance for additional savings. If you're paying by check, it will likely have to be a cashier's check. Most dealerships won't accept cash or credit. Finally, you'll swing by the dealer, sign some legal docs, and pick up the keys. The car's title is usually mailed to the address you provided, so keep an eye out for it in the coming weeks. Be sure to thank the dealer for their time and effort. They're probably going to tell you a few more things about the car and offer some basic maintenance advice. Thank you for watching. Send me a message if you have any questions.